So, I know that tonight's film was supposed to air last week. My apologies. After the Reptilicus and Young Gary episodes, I really needed to do a film without drunk suitmation actors, horrible CGI, and wobbly marionette monsters. Besides, all the alcohol I had to consume to get through those films were making my liver search Craigslist for a less abusive host. Here's your Jam Rant show, folks. Cheers. Greetings and welcome to Film Rants, the official sponsor of PETA, People Eating Tasty Animals. I'm your always inappropriate host, E. Adam Thomas, and tonight is our final December Request Month episode. Yes, I know it's February. My fucking computer died, okay? Tonight's film was requested by Steve Andreessen, and it's the 1987 horror spoof House 2: The Second Story, featuring John Ratzenberg and Bill Maher in supporting roles. None of the lead cast are known today, and mentioning them might compromise their jobs at Jiffy Lube and University of Phoenix. The film is about a guy named Jesse who moves into his family's old house and discovers that his great-great-grandfather has discovered an ancient crystal skull with mystical powers, including, apparently, immortality. As a side note, they finally got to make the prequel to this film 21 years later. It was called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I digress. Anyway, he digs up his great-great-grandfather's grave, only to find that the old geezer is still alive, looking a lot like Regis Philbin before 2 hours in the makeup chair. The skull apparently has the power to open portals into other time periods, turning parts of the house into prehistoric jungles, Aztec ritual caves, and an Old West town. It seems that everyone in history wants the skull for themselves. Now, first off, the film's main protagonists, Jesse and his douchey buddy Charlie, are not exactly Mensa candidates. In fact, they're both pretty fucking stupid. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. When you have finally procured the crystalline skull of eternal life, you don't hold it up high enough for a fucking pteranodon to grab it out of your hands. Everybody knows that, dickhead. This is also very obviously an 80s movie. There's more denim, shoulder pads, and Aquanet hairdos than the entire series of both Charlie's Angels and Dukes of Hazzard combined. The set design for the house is actually not too bad. It's a bit over the top, and it's pretty easy to tell that some of the scenery is made out of styrofoam, but for the budget, it's actually not a bad effort overall. This film was made well before CGI became part of the cinematic effects zeitgeist, so most of the effects rely on older methods such as Ray Harryhausen style stop motion animation and puppetry. So younger viewers may see it as being a bit dated. In fact, come to think of it, most of the film now is very dated. From the gags, the costumes, the breast sizes, it's all quintessentially 80s. But that's actually part of the film's charm. There are those that deride this film for not really being a true horror film. Well, guess what? It's not really meant to be. It's actually a little too tame for this comparison, but basically, it's very much along the same lines of genre parody films like Airplane, Naked Gun, and the Scary Movie franchise. It's not meant to be taken seriously. The only disadvantage is that it is part of the House film series, which, for the most part, was meant to be more serious and more frightening. As the direct sequel to House from the previous year, which featured William Catt from Greatest American Hero fame, House 2 is a confusing entry. There isn't much in the way of scares, really, but the laughs they are replaced with are genuinely amusing enough to make the film enjoyable in its own right. If I personally have any real problem with this film at all, it's the female characters. They're not treated especially misogynistically, per se, but they are given no personality of any kind. There are only two main female characters in the film, and they have almost no real impact on the narrative and show up for a very short period of time in the film. Most of the best horror films have major female characters in them, either in strong lead roles or at the very least as a hot pair of tits that can scream on cue. And I think they actually missed a bet by not including at least one major female role that would have given the film more dramatic diversity, as well as opportunities for lampooning some of the more stereotypical horror movie cliches. I do applaud the filmmakers for not shoehorning in a gratuitous tit shot just for the sake of doing it. Not that I have anything against gratuitous tit shots. But the utter lack of any really interesting female characters is kind of a disappointment. Overall, the film is not bad. Not great, but it's not unwatchable. It's sort of like the kind of film somebody who wanted to make a Zucker Brothers type film, but realized they weren't really that funny, not funny enough to do it right, so they kind of held themselves back, which, to be perfectly fucking honest, is a tactic I would love some of the producers of more recent genre parodies to take a fucking hint from. As low-key as it is, House 2 is still funnier than any of the irritating scary movie parodies or shit like Meet the Spartans or Date Movie. Everyone in Hollywood who's ever gotten more than a polite chuckle telling a joke at a cocktail party apparently thinks they can make another Airplane or Spinal Tap. I've gotten bigger laughs out of replays of live 9/11 news footage than I do some of these films. Seriously, it's like over half of all comedies made anymore are meant to suck so hard they could rip a hole in the space-time continuum the size of Belgium. For the love of George Carlin, stop it already! Oh, and while I'm on the subject, could somebody with a brain please revoke Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer's Directors Guild cards and get them both jobs in something they're more suited to? I don't know, something like power washing the porta potties after the Renaissance Fair closes. On to the the House 2 rantometer. I'll give the movie a solid 3 for artistic, a 3, again, for coolness, and a 2 for originality. I do have to give it a 2 on the suckitude, because as entertaining as it is, it missed way too many opportunities and just was a bit too tame overall for my tastes. Still, for a low-budget horror parody from the 80s, a 6 is not a completely horrible score. That's it for the request month that took 3 fucking months to complete. I'm always open to future requests, but next week's film is going to be anybody's guess. A new blockbuster? A classic horror film? German Scheitze porn? Who knows, and who the fuck cares? Tell me what you'd like to see on future episodes by commenting on this video, or you can look for us on Facebook on the Angry Men Reviews fan page, or the Adam's Film Rants fan page. You can even email my cantankerous ass at filmrantseat@cox.net. I really would like to hear from you all, and don't be afraid to share these episodes to your friends, your family, or just people you're passive-aggressively trying to irritate the fuck out of. Good night, and may the Force be ever in your favor. And cut. All right, we're good. Let's wrap it up, folks. Have a great night. Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Angry Men Reviews. Many fucks said, no fucks given.
All right, more energy. More of what they pay me for around here.